In this video, I show you how to put together the Fresh Lemonade card, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So here are the pieces of this lemonade card. These are the panels. These are the pattern panels that I cut out. These are for the glass. So I'm going to do a little inking on those. And maybe around on the lemons. And then here are the pieces to the pitcher. And I had something that I cut out here. And there's little flower innards that will go on there. And if you don't want this little cutout right here, you could just put any pattern paper. Like I did do an extra cut. So let's say you didn't want the flowers, you could just do this as your front and just match it to this or different color or just a solid color like that. So that's up to you. I mean, because there might be a pretty perfect pattern that you might want on it, but this is what we're going to put together here. And then the lemons. So the lemons will go like this. And that's it. Let's start piecing things together. So let's go ahead and put aside the card. Oh, and you might want to just pre-fold these. So this is the front, like this. And then this will be the back insert. This is the middle insert, which you'll want to fold these backwards. And then we'll want to fold them forward. You might want to get a nice sharp edge with the bone folder. Folding them backwards. Like that, just to get it ready. So some of this we can put just straight on here, and we'll do that once we piece these things together. So the first thing I really want to do is, I already inked this, so I inked the edges here to get a little bit more texture, and so you can see the little rim there. Oops. I am using American Crafts textured cardstock, and I use this to ink it. So I'm going to do that with the actual glass portion and show you what I did. So this was Squeeze Lemonade Distress Oxide, and so this will start with that. And I also inked the edges here with the same ink that I'm going to use, so you can see that I like to get a piece of paper to use. So here I'm going to take the faded jeans, so let me go ahead and move those so I don't do anything to those. I'm going to use one of these iCrafter finger brushes, foam. So what I like to do is get the ink on it and get a little bit off, because I really don't want that much. I want it to blend well. So you would want to test a little bit with the inks you have on a test piece of paper to make sure you get the effect you want. So this is the top piece for the glass, and that lemon, the yellow piece, will be the lemonade piece that goes there. So I'm going to do that on both pieces. So that's why I didn't do it for every piece, because it does take a little time. So you can see what it's starting to do. It kind of gives us an edge, so you can see the edges. So you can see the lip of the glass. Just put enough. I'm just putting enough on to see if I like it. So if you don't have test paper too, you could always test your ink on the back to see if you like the look. So that's what I did. I'll put a little more, and then we may be done inking, because I don't think I'll ink. You could also ink the edges of the lemons. Let me see how the lemonade looks on that real quick here. See if you can see it, because this, I might need a darker like orange or something like that for this. These are nice because they just stack. So I'm going to go on the back just to see if I can even see it. So you can, I can't even really see it. So this would be a case where you kind of get a different, like a darker color. Let me just grab something. I wasn't ready for this, obviously. So I'm going to try this, which is a fossilized amber. Since I'm using lemon paper, it just may be, let's see if it shows up now. So that's the back of it, is showing up. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the edges of this and then all the other, just to give it a little accent. So these are the prep pieces that you can do. It's up to you whether you want that. And if you go directly with Distress Oxide, it'll just smudge. So I'm going to go upside down so you can see. If I did that directly, it might not go on the way I want. So that's the back of it. So this is the reason I do this. And just kind of work myself way in to the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to do it on these. Oops, I didn't show you those. Those were out of sight there. So I may do it on the edge of this. That other piece is a little bit too small. I can manage to do it, but it really won't be that noticeable. Now let's give her a try. Make it all consistent. And then after this, we'll go ahead and piece everything together. This is the one that'll go on the drink. So let's go ahead and start piecing them. So let me get that all set up. So we're going to go ahead and put these lemons together first. And then we can put the glass together. So the way it goes is the canary, call it the light yellow canary, and then lemon, and then the white piece. And I'm using textured cardstock, so make sure the texture is up. I'm using Barely Art glue. I like the fine tip applicator on this. So we want to flip this yellow piece over. So that's nice because we just want a fine little line of glue here. Just going to line it up to the edge like that to get that lighter yellow showing through. I said it's American Crafts Canary. And we'll take the white, flip it over on the non-textured side, and you can always use your like a paintbrush to get it this thin. If you want to make sure it doesn't bleed through, you can do that. Just make sure you have like a little wet cloth aside to wipe off your finger. And then we're going to line this up. Like that. Let's see if you can see it. It's not focusing very well. Then we'll do the same with this. So just making sure the textured side is up. Just line it up. So we get all this piecing portion taken care of before we put the card together, so the card goes together lickety split. But this kind of gives it dimension, which is nice. Just gonna line that up, make sure that those little inside pieces line up on the cutout on the lemon cardstock, the brighter cardstock. So we have the 2 lemons ready to go. So how we're going to do this is we'll start from the back. We're going to take this piece with that curve on the front. That little rubber thing, if you're wondering, it just goes over this to keep it so it doesn't dry out. It does dry out occasionally. Oops, we just want to do this. We're going to put wherever you want to put the lemon. And I kind of didn't put it on the insert on purpose. If you want to cut it, you can, but so what I'm doing, I kind of jumped ahead of myself. I need to add glue to the back of this. To glue on to that. Like that. So if you wanted to cut it, you could actually also slice it, but I did that before. You kind of can see through it. So if you want to, you can slice a bit out, and I'll show you a test card. This one, I sliced it. I did it 2 ways, glued it, and unfortunately if you push too hard you'll see through like that. Or you can just cut it. You can cut a notch out so you don't see it. So just notch it out with a pair of scissors. And then we'll put this larger canary glass piece for the lemonade inside. Just trying to make it, it's trying to make it as simple as possible, but yet with a little detail. That's always a challenge when it comes to something like a drink. So if you do like this project, you like this type of project, let me know in the comments. I have all sorts of ideas, I just don't know what people like. I mean, it's just kind of a different kind of card to give to somebody. So this one, now that this will go on the front. Let's go ahead and piece this together. So you'll notice little flowers cut out. I actually kept those because I'm just going to throw them onto the card. Why not? Why waste the pieces, right? So just, if you want to use them, you can put them aside for a different thing, but I'm going to use them on the card. So again, we're just going to go ahead and piece this. Add glue, and be careful not going too close to the openings. Just line that up. And then we'll add this to the larger piece. It's best probably to line this up at the bottom. Start at the bottom, line it up. And then it kind of lines up at this little curve right here, the spout. And you can see the difference between the two here. Give them that depth. And then we'll take our little silhouette pick-me-up tool, has a little sticky end. We're going to take these. Some of these are really teeny, so you could use something like a different middle if you like. If you want to use something like a pearlize, like liquid pearls or Nouveau drops, that's up to you. I'm going to add little 3 dots of glue. So the bigger one will go on the big flower. Just going to center it. And these little ones will just pop in here. So if you wanted to use something like a enamel dot, that would be something to use as well. Just flipping it over to get the texture side out. It's kind of fun. It's just a little detail that I liked. Then now we'll take the inserts. We need to get these 2 lemons. So we're going to put 1 lemon behind and 1 in front. So really it doesn't matter, as long as you line this up at this top edge right here. It really doesn't matter how it goes. Just line it up, because part of this part's going to go behind the glass anyways. And then we can pop this on top of it, and that'll just line up there. I'm going to pick it up, make sure I kind of scooch it a little bit, and then we can go ahead and add this here. So I wanted you to have flexibility with this piece of lemon up here, so that's why I didn't add it to the insert, just in case you didn't want it, or you wanted to put it on a different way. So that's, and these are the tabs that go forward. And then we'll take this other insert and add it here. So again, if you like any of this project or any of our projects, I always ask if you can give me a little thumbs up on the video and or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And if you hit that little notification button to the right, you'll be notified when we have new content. Okay, we're getting close to being done. Now we just have to put the card together. But first, let's go ahead and put these on. So I have 2 of these. Like normally I wouldn't put them on the back, but if you want to put them on the back, this is the back piece. This is actually American Craft's texture. It's not texture cardstock. American Craft smooth cardstock. So, but it's craft. So that lines up right there. You can also add it to the back if you want, or you could just leave it empty so you can have a sentiment on it. So you could always add another something else on. If you want to add writing to the back of your cards, because there's not a lot of places to add writing, you could do it on the back of this, or you could do it on the back of this and omit this. So, but for our example, we're going to add them all. I should say that's the back. It's just easier to add the panels when it's flat. So this should just center this. Just gives it a little punch of color. And this is a digital paper that I got on design bundles. So I'll note that in the description below if it's still out there, hopefully, but that's where I got it. Then let's go ahead and add it here. So I'm gonna make this the back. So I'm just making, there's not much difference in the smooth cardstock on this, on the coloring, but it's just slight. It's not enough to make a difference really. So now we'll put the card together. I'm going to start with this right tab. Let's get this out of my way. And we'll add that other lemon to the front in just a moment here. So now if we flip it over, this is the front. So we want this to go first and then this second. So this is folded forward for a reason. We want to, if I flip it over, it's folded forward. We want to add glue to the right one. If you're looking at it, it's the right tab. If it's upside down, it's the left. And what we're going to do is glue it. There's 2 folds right there. We're going to glue this edge right to the left of this inside fold. So if you need it, you just want it to line up the bottom there. So don't go right up to it because sometimes that'll cause you problems when you go to close it. And I don't have a real clean fold there, so That could be an issue too. So if I fold it back over like this, then this is the back, like it's upside down like that. So if I flip it over, we want to add, this is folded backwards, and we're going to add glue to this tab. I just find this is the easiest to do box cards now for me. So again, we're just, instead of this one we went a little bit to the left, I want to go a little bit to the right, and this is just spaced out. And again, I'm lining it up with the bottom of the card. So when I apply pressure, make sure that it's, we want to make sure it's secure. I know how long my glue takes to dry, so you kind of, that helps. So I'm going to slowly fold it back like this, so you can see it's in place like there. So now I'm going to fold it like this, so you see that little panel, that this and this. This one needs to fold under, and this one stays flat. So you go ahead, remember we're going to keep that bottom edge. We're just going to line it up on this bottom edge. So we're going to place that down like that. And then this like just flat. And then making sure, I'm just making sure it's lined up at the bottom here. This way it'll stand up okay. Now once you get those in place, we can just fold this end in. Get good coverage here. Then lay that flat to adhere. So that's the card flattened, so we're just going to make sure it's nice and dry. What does it scream, summer or what? It does to me. I like this card. I'd just be like a good pick-me-up or thinking of you card. I didn't do a lot of shape in the front on it. Sometimes I just don't do that. So here I think you can place it wherever you want. I think for balance it looks better on the right. That's how so I'm just gonna kind of see where I want it. Just make sure you don't go over the edge, else it won't fit in the card. I think I'll just do the bottom half. So I wanted this to be free form, the way you wanted to do it. So that's why I didn't actually put the form on the front. Make sure there's no glue on the back to cause me trouble. And I'm going to add these extra flowers. So I just have to get my little stylus here. I wasn't ready for this. So I'm just taking my stylus like this. If you want to add the flowers. If you don't want to add the flowers, you don't have to go to this step. But I'm just going to curl them a little bit. And we have those 3 flowers that cut out, so why waste them? Oops, I went the wrong way. So you can curl them back too. You don't have to curl them up. I'm just kind of curling them up a little bit, but back would work too. Or flat's fine too. Whichever works for you. So I'm going to fold that flat down. I'm going to see how I want this to be here. Do a little clump of flowers. Let me just pop this down here. So I'm going to have a little dimension up there. Kind of pull it up a little bit. Pop one there. So this is whatever feels good to you at this point. So this is, like I said, just a little addition, not to waste the cutouts on that picture. Then to finish it, I'm going to add these little Nuvo drops in the middle, but just to show you, it does fit into an A2 card like that. So it could be have your little sentiment there. So let's go ahead and just add a little bit. So this, you can see the color. I kind of always put, these are Nuvo drops, and I always put the color on top so I know which color I'm going to work with. So this is a little bit darker, but it kind of works with these two colors. And once they're dry, which usually takes about, sometimes an hour. It says on there to allow for, I forget how much time. Let's see what it says. For 24 hours, but which you could. I'm just kind of see if I can make this one a little bit bigger. Or you could recut out those little things and put them on there. So this is going to take a while. So now I have to just let it dry, but there's the finished card. That's kind of a fun addition, huh? I hope you enjoyed this project, and I thank you so much for watching.